Alright, good afternoon, I think, at this point, everybody. I am just composing a brief video tutorial to walk you guys through some of the weirder stuff that's happened this week, and also to help you get oriented on our course Blackboard site. Originally, I didn't think this video would need to come into play, but enough of you have voiced confusion that I wanted to make sure we address those concerns pretty directly. So, just to give you guys a quick overview of what is going on in the CUNY system. Right now, we are entering a second recalibration period. I'm recording this on March 25th. The new recalibration period will begin on March 27th and last until April 1st. Now, a recalibration period is basically a period in which instructors are told to just prepare course material for digital migration. I am actually just using it to kind of build a log of lesson plans that will go up on the dates when you would normally have class with me if things hadn't gone awry. So we'll be going over how to access those lessons and how to actually mark attendance at those sessions in the next 5 minutes or so. But just so you guys know, I'll be posting content during that time. However, it is imperative that you understand that you are not expected to respond to that content immediately. In fact, you have until April 10th to do so. April 10th is the date I selected because it is the date that you are supposed to come back from spring break under the new system. To make up for all the time we've kind of lost, spring break is now going to last from April 8th to April 10th, which is weird. I'm not actually altering our due dates, though. Most of our due dates are kind of happening around that, and I actually factored spring break into your prep time for big assignments like your research paper, which we'll be going over next week. So for now, you guys should probably mostly stick to the syllabus. There are just two important changes that I'd like for you to bear in mind. The first is that your scientist profile first draft is now due on March 29th, this coming Sunday. That's because a number of you guys seem like you're kind of underprepared on that assignment, and this has been super chaotic, so I wanted to give you a little bit of extra time. I will still ask you guys to try to workshop one another's pieces on the 30th. I'll be sending out a video with instructions on how to do so then. And the final draft of that assignment, to make up for the lag between current submission time and updated submission time, will be 4/13. So that's April 13th, which is kind of like on the other side of that spring break thing again. And that should give you enough time to complete that assignment without it necessarily interfering with your ability to complete a research paper proposal and some of the other course material we'll be working on towards the end of the semester. All right, so let's go over what our class is like now. So most of our class lessons now occur on Blackboard. Blackboard is where you've been doing all your discussion board posts, and once you log into Blackboard, you'll probably see a myriad of courses to your left. Ours hopefully feels familiar at this point. All of you guys have successfully posted to a discussion board at this point, so I don't anticipate much trouble there. I just want to talk to you about the new features of our discussion section and how I'd like to see them unfold. So, as you can see, two new elements have been added to our course Blackboard site. A lectures tag on the discussion board and a class discussion forum. Let's talk about lectures first. So in the interest of giving you guys as much flexibility as possible, I've just been typing up what I would have lectured on the days that we'd have class, and I've been posting it to Blackboard so that you can review those lectures at your leisure. The idea is that it's easier for you to do that than it is for me to tape a video. This way you can start and stop and kind of like, do things at your own pace. It's also easy for you to kind of review and reread things. You don't have to like stop a tape and go back if I say something weird or unbelievable, and you can read past it and see where I'm going afterwards if it seems really, really weird. So each lecture is labeled with the date that it was actually sent out, or the date it would normally have occurred in class, I should say. And each one is pretty self-contained. Some of them can be a little bit, this is pretty average length. So most of them are about 1,500 words. The most recent one was about 800 words, and I think the model scientist profile one was closer to 2,000. So they're usually going to be about that long. All I want you to do with these lectures is review them on or near the day that they were assigned. If you're going to review them all at once, I'm sorry. You probably shouldn't do that, but as long as you actually get a chance to look through them, you're okay. The other half of all this is the class discussion forum. Now, the class discussion forum contains matching prompts for those dates. So, basically what I want you to do is, in order to show that you've attended class virtually, you respond to one of the prompts. So here, for instance, the Sahu and McLeavine et al. Articles were posted to this particular class, and I gave you guys two relatively short prompts that you can respond to. You can respond to either of them, or you can kind of just respond with whatever you'd like to talk about as long as it's pertinent to the reading or discussion. You log your response by replying to the thread. Here, the questions were there any positive or negative qualities in these texts that weren't mentioned here that you'd like to discuss? Any ideas you'd like clarified or concepts you'd like to discuss? The FST tends to be a big point of discussion in class. That's the forced swim test, where they kind of like mock drown rats. Since it as a test of stress responses blurs the line between legitimate assessment of enduring stress and conditioned response. To clarify what that means, they actually hint at it in the paper. Rats may actually be just learning that if they go limp, they'll be pulled out of the water faster, so the FST might not actually be a good measure of how people respond to stress over time, because it may actually just be teaching rats that if they learn to behave a certain way, they get treated a certain way. Yeah. And then that's one question. The other question is, after looking at these pieces, what qualities would you ascribe to successful or good scientific writing? What makes a piece of writing good or bad anyway? And you can respond to either of those questions or just kind of respond to the prompt in a general sense. Yeah. So below we have responses from multiple students. And yeah, these are totally appropriate. Kaylani and Maria, you guys both nailed it. So you're both just talking about your response to the article and kind of like, just relating it to the larger discussion. That is exactly what I want you guys to do. In the immediate future, I will not be asking you to respond to these prompts right away. In fact, you'll have up to April 10th to complete any discussion prompts. And as long as you complete one discussion prompt before then, you will actually get credit for the now defunct discussion board post 5. I kind of just want to boost everyone's grade because, let's be honest, this sucks. This is weird. I don't like it. I don't think you guys like it either, but we're making the best of it. So here we are. After April 10th, I'll just be asking you to complete each discussion board post within 72 hours of its initial posting date. So that's 3 days. I feel like that's a reasonable balance of timeliness and sort of accommodation. It'll keep everyone on more or less the same page. And as we move towards stuff like presentations later in the semester, it'll also help us sort of accomplish those goals and potentially even get some simultaneous classes together if that's something that's going to work for us. So we'll see if that happens. All right. If you do have any questions about this video, please let me know. I'd be happy to resolve any points of contention, but this was just intended to be a really, really quick explanation of these two sections for those of you who, haven't really been keeping up with the emails or who are just so barraged by emails that you had trouble actually sorting through all of them. All right. Stay healthy and stay safe.